The next word is extensive. Extensive means covering a large area or involving a lot of things. The research provided extensive information about climate change. This means, the research offered a lot of detailed data on the topic of climate change. They have extensive knowledge of ancient history. This means they know a lot about the history from long ago. The hospital has extensive facilities for patient care. This means, the hospital has a wide range of resources and services for its patients. The next word is extent. Extent refers to the degree or range of something, or how large or serious it is. The extent of the damage from the storm was unimaginable. This means, the size or severity of the storm's impact was beyond what anyone expected. We need to understand the full extent of the problem before making a decision. This means we should figure out how big or serious the issue is first. She didn't realize the extent of her influence on others. This means, she didn't know how much impact she had on the people around her. The next word is external. External refers to something on the outside or outer surface. The external appearance of the building was very modern. This means, the outside look of the building was very contemporary. The doctor checked for any external injuries. This means the doctor looked for any visible injuries on the outside of the body. They made external repairs to the house. This means, they fixed things on the outside of the house. The next word is extract. Extract means to remove or take something out, often with effort. He tried to extract the broken tooth without causing too much pain. This means, he tried to remove the tooth carefully. The scientist extracted DNA from the sample for research. This means the scientists took the DNA out of the sample for study. They had to extract the data from the old computer system. This means, they needed to recover the information from the outdated system. The next word is extraordinarily. Extraordinarily means in a way that is very unusual, remarkable, or impressive. She performed extraordinarily well in the competition. This means, she did exceptionally well in the contest. The food at the restaurant was extraordinarily delicious. This means the food was exceptionally tasty. The view from the mountaintop was extraordinarily beautiful. This means, the sight from the top of the mountain was incredibly stunning. The next word is extreme. Extreme refers to something that is very intense or far beyond the usual limits. The extreme heat during the summer made it difficult to stay outside. This means, the very high temperatures in the summer made it hard to be outdoors. She has extreme views on politics. This means her opinions on politics are very strong and far from the middle ground. They were in an extreme situation with little food or water. This means, they were in a very serious and difficult condition. The next word is eyebrow. Eyebrow refers to the strip of hair above the eyes. She raised an eyebrow in surprise when she heard the news. This means, she lifted her eyebrow as a reaction to something surprising. He has thick eyebrows that he often trims. This means his eyebrows are full and he regularly cuts them. The makeup artist carefully shaped her eyebrows for the photo shoot. This means, the artist took extra care to make her eyebrows look perfect for the shoot. The next word is eyelash. Eyelash refers to the hair that grows on the edge of your eyelids. She applied mascara to make her eyelashes look longer. This means, she used makeup to make the hairs on her eyelids appear more extended. He has long eyelashes that make his eyes look bigger. This means his eyelashes are long, which gives his eyes a larger appearance. The wind blew so strongly that it caused her eyelashes to flutter. This means, the wind was so strong that it made her eyelash hairs move up and down. The next word is eyelid. Eyelid refers to the thin skin that covers and protects your eyes when closed. She accidentally touched her eyelid while applying makeup. This means, she touched the skin around her eye while putting on her makeup. He has a scar on his eyelid from an injury. This means he has a mark on the skin of his eyelid from an accident. The eyelid helps keep the eye moist and free from dust. This means, the eyelid protects the eye by keeping it wet and clean from small particles. The next word is eyesight. Eyesight refers to the ability to see or how well someone can see. She has perfect eyesight and doesn't need glasses. This means, her vision is flawless and she can see clearly without any help. As he got older, his eyesight started to decline. This means his ability to see became worse as he aged. Good eyesight is important for tasks like reading and driving. This means, clear vision is necessary for activities such as reading books and operating a vehicle. The next phrase is face up to something. Face up to something means to accept or confront a difficult situation. He had to face up to the reality of his failure. This means, he had to accept the truth about not succeeding. She refused to face up to the consequences of her actions. This means she didn't want to accept what happened because of what she did. We need to face up to the challenges ahead and work together. This means, we have to accept and deal with the difficulties in front of us as a team. The next word is facility. Facility refers to a place or equipment designed for a particular purpose. The gym has excellent facilities, including a swimming pool and sauna. This means, the gym is well equipped with things like a pool and a sauna for relaxation. The hospital has modern medical facilities for treating patients. This means the hospital is equipped with advanced tools and rooms for patient care. The school offers various facilities like sports courts and a library. This means, the school has different areas for activities like sports and studying. The next word is factor. Factor refers to something that contributes to a result or situation. One key factor in his success was his determination. This means, his strong will played a major role in his achievements. Weather is an important factor in farming productivity. This means the climate has a big influence on how well crops grow. The economy is a factor in determining people's living standards. This means, the economic situation affects the quality of life for people. The next word is fade. Fade means to gradually lose brightness, color, or strength. The colors of the painting began to fade over time. This means, the painting's colors started to become less vibrant as time passed. Her memories of the event began to fade as she grew older. This means she started to forget about the event as the years went by. The music slowly faded as they walked away from the concert. This means, the sound of the music became quieter as they moved farther from the stage. The next phrase is fade away. Fade away means to gradually disappear or become less noticeable. The sound of the music slowly faded away as we walked farther. This means, the music became quieter and eventually was no longer heard. Her influence on the team began to fade away after the incident. This means her impact lessened and became less important over time. The flowers started to fade away in the heat. This means, the flowers lost their freshness and beauty because of the hot weather. The next phrase is fail to do something. Fail to do something means not to succeed in doing something you intended or needed to do. She failed to complete the assignment on time. This means, she didn't finish the work by the deadline. They failed to attend the meeting because of traffic. This means they were unable to make it to the meeting because they were stuck in traffic. He failed to pass the exam despite studying hard. This means, even though he studied a lot, he didn't manage to get a passing grade. The next word is failure. Failure refers to not achieving what you wanted or expected. The project ended in failure due to poor planning. This means, the project didn't succeed because it wasn't well organized. He felt like a failure after losing the competition. This means he felt unsuccessful and disappointed after not winning. Failure is often a stepping stone to success if you learn from it. This means, not succeeding can be helpful if you use it as a lesson for future attempts. The next phrase is failure to do something. Failure to do something refers to not doing something you were supposed to do. His failure to apologize made the situation worse. This means, not saying sorry caused the problem to get even bigger. The failure to follow instructions led to the error in the report. This means not paying attention to the directions caused a mistake in the work. The failure to act quickly resulted in the loss of the opportunity. This means, not taking action soon enough led to missing a chance. The next word is faint. Faint refers to a sudden, brief loss of consciousness or strength. She felt faint after standing in the heat for too long. This means, she almost passed out because of the hot weather. He fainted when he saw the blood. This means he lost consciousness when he looked at the blood. She gave a faint smile to show she was still feeling a little weak. This means, she smiled lightly because she was still not feeling well. The next phrase is fair enough. Fair enough means something that seems reasonable or understandable. You want to leave early? Fair enough, but make sure to finish your work. This means, it's okay if you want to go, but just complete your tasks first. If you're tired, fair enough, you can rest now. This means it's understandable if you need a break. She said I could borrow her book for a week. Fair enough, I'll return it on time. This means, she agreed to lend the book for a week, and I'll respect that. The next word is faith. Faith refers to a strong belief or trust in something or someone. She has a strong faith in her ability to overcome challenges. This means, she believes in herself and her power to face difficulties. He lost faith in the system after seeing so many problems. This means he no longer trusted the system after realizing its issues. Faith is important in many aspects of life, such as relationships and religion. This means, trust and belief are key in various areas like love and spiritual beliefs. The next word is faithful. Faithful refers to being loyal and supportive, especially over a long period of time. The dog was always faithful to its owner, never leaving his side. This means, the dog stayed loyal and always was there for the owner. She remained faithful to her beliefs despite facing criticism. This means she stuck to her principles even though others disagreed with her. He's a faithful friend who always helps when needed. This means, he is a reliable and supportive friend. The next phrase is fall apart. Fall apart means to break or crumble into pieces, either literally or emotionally. The old chair began to fall apart after years of use. This means, the chair became damaged and started breaking. She felt like her life was falling apart after the breakup. This means she felt emotionally overwhelmed and things seemed to be going wrong. His plans started to fall apart when they encountered unexpected problems. This means, his plan began to fail when they faced challenges they hadn't anticipated. The next phrase is fall flat on your face. Fall flat on your face means to fail completely, often in a very obvious or embarrassing way. His presentation fell flat on its face because he was unprepared. This means, his speech failed badly because he didn't prepare well. She tried to make a joke, but it fell flat on its face, and no one laughed. This means her attempt at humor didn't work at all. His business idea fell flat on its face after the market showed no interest. This means, his business idea failed miserably because people weren't interested. The next phrase is fall for somebody. Fall for somebody means to develop strong romantic feelings for someone. He fell for her the moment they met at the party. This means, he quickly became attracted to her and liked her a lot. She fell for him after seeing how kind and caring he was. This means she started to love him because of his gentle nature. They fell for each other during their summer vacation in Paris. This means, they both developed feelings for each other while on vacation. The next phrase is fall out. Fall out means to have a disagreement or argument, often leading to the end of a relationship. They had a big fight and fell out over something trivial. This means, they argued so much that they stopped getting along. He fell out with his best friend after the misunderstanding. This means they stopped being close after an argument or confusion. The two business partners fell out over financial disagreements. This means, they had a serious disagreement that caused their partnership to end. The next phrase is fall through. Fall through means to fail or not be completed as planned. Their wedding plans fell through due to the pandemic. This means, their wedding couldn't happen because of the restrictions. The deal fell through when the company couldn't meet the requirements. This means the agreement failed because one side didn't fulfill their part. His job offer fell through when the company decided to hire someone else. This means, he lost the opportunity because the company chose another candidate. The next word is fame. Fame refers to the state of being widely known or recognized, especially for achievements. She gained fame after winning the singing competition. This means, she became well known because of her victory. The actor enjoyed his fame, but also struggled with the pressures it brought. This means while he was well known, he found the attention difficult to handle. He achieved fame through his groundbreaking work in science. This means, he became famous because of his important scientific discoveries. The next word is fantastically. Fantastically means in an excellent, extraordinary, or amazing way. She performed fantastically in the competition, winning first place. This means, she did exceptionally well and outshone everyone else. The movie was fantastically produced with stunning special effects. This means the movie was made in an extraordinary way with impressive visuals. His business is doing fantastically well this year. This means, his business is performing exceptionally good and making a lot of profit. The next word is fantasy. Fantasy refers to an imaginative or unrealistic scenario, often involving magic or supernatural elements. The book is set in a fantasy world where dragons and wizards exist. This means, the book takes place in a made-up world with magical creatures. She has always had a fantasy of traveling to space one day. This means she imagines or dreams about exploring outer space. The film is a mix of fantasy and adventure, full of exciting moments. This means, the movie includes both magical elements and thrilling action. The next word is fascinated. Fascinated means to be extremely interested or captivated by something. He was fascinated by the mysteries of the universe and spent years studying astronomy. This means, he was deeply interested in learning about space and stars. She was fascinated by the idea of living in a foreign country. This means she found the thought of living abroad very interesting. The children were fascinated by the magician's tricks. This means, the kids were completely amazed and absorbed by the magic show. The next word is fascinating. Fascinating means something that is extremely interesting or captivating. The documentary about deep-sea creatures was fascinating and informative. This means, the documentary was very engaging and taught a lot of new things. The scientist's research on ancient civilizations is truly fascinating. This means the scientist's work is so interesting that it captures attention. Her story about her travels around the world was absolutely fascinating. This means, her travel experiences were so exciting and interesting to hear. The next phrase is fasten something on to together, etc. Fasten something on to together means to attach or secure something using a fastening device. Please fasten your seatbelt before the flight begins. This means, you should buckle up your seatbelt for safety. She fastened the note to the door with a magnet. This means she attached the note to the door using a magnet. He fastened the wires together to complete the circuit. This means, he connected the wires securely to finish the electrical setup. The next word is fatal. Fatal refers to something that causes death or has very serious consequences. The accident was fatal and the driver didn't survive. This means, the crash caused the driver's death. A fatal mistake led to the collapse of the building. This means the mistake was so severe that it caused the building to fall down. The disease is fatal if not treated in time. This means, the disease can be deadly if not treated early. The next word is fate. Fate refers to the development of events beyond a person's control, often seen as destined or predetermined. It was fate that they met at the coffee shop on that rainy day. This means, they believe it was meant to happen or destined. Some believe that fate brought them together after years of separation. This means they think their reunion was something that was meant to happen. He believed in fate and thought that everything in life had a purpose. This means, he believed that life events unfold according to destiny. The next phrase is father-in-law. Father-in-law refers to the father of one's spouse. My father-in-law is visiting us for the weekend. This means, my spouse's father is coming to spend time with us. She gets along very well with her father-in-law. This means she has a good relationship with her husband's father. His father-in-law helped him fix the car when it broke down. This means, his spouse's father assisted him in repairing the car. The next word is fault. Fault refers to responsibility for something wrong or a mistake. It was my fault that we missed the meeting. I forgot to set the alarm. This means, I take responsibility for missing the meeting. The accident was caused by a mechanical fault in the car. This means the problem with the car led to the accident. Don't blame her for the fault. It was an unexpected situation. This means, Don't hold her responsible. It wasn't planned. The next word is faulty. Faulty means something that has a defect or is not working correctly. The faulty wiring caused the power outage in the building. This means, the damaged electrical system led to the loss of power. I returned the faulty product to the store for a replacement. This means the product had a problem, so I took it back to get a new one. The car was running poorly because it had a faulty engine part. This means, the car wasn't working right because of a broken part. The next word is favorable. Favorable means something that is positive or beneficial. The weather forecast predicts favorable conditions for tomorrow's picnic. This means, the weather will be good for the picnic. The company received a favorable review for its new product. This means the review was positive and praised the new product. The team had a favorable outcome in the championship match. This means, the team performed well and won or succeeded. The next word is feather. Feather refers to the light, flat structure that covers birds' bodies. The bird flapped its feathers and flew away. This means, the bird moved its wings, which are covered with feathers. She wore a hat decorated with bright feathers for the party. This means the hat had colorful bird feathers as decoration. A feather floated gently down from the tree. This means, the feather fell softly from the tree. The next word is feature. Feature refers to a distinctive attribute or aspect of something. The new phone has a feature that allows you to take 3D photos. This means, the phone has a special function for 3D pictures. Her beauty is one of her most prominent features. This means her attractiveness is one of the most noticeable aspects of her appearance. The movie features a famous actor as the lead role. This means, the movie stars a well-known actor. The next phrase is fed up. Fed up means to be annoyed or of something, usually because of repeated problems. I'm fed up with all the noise in the city. This means, I'm really irritated by the constant noise around me. She's fed up with her job and is looking for something new. This means she's tired of her current work and wants a change. He was fed up with waiting for the bus, so he walked home. This means, he couldn't stand waiting anymore and decided to go home on foot. The next word is feedback. Feedback refers to advice, criticism, or information about how one is doing in an effort to improve. She gave me some valuable feedback on my presentation. This means, she offered useful suggestions to improve my speech. The teacher provided positive feedback on my essay. This means the teacher praised the quality of my writing. I appreciate the feedback from my friends after the performance. This means, I'm thankful for the opinions and advice my friends gave me. The next word is fellow. Fellow refers to a person in the same group or profession. He's a fellow student in my history class. This means, he's another person who's also studying in my class. We had a great time talking to some fellow travelers on the bus. This means we enjoyed chatting with other people who were also traveling. She's a fellow artist, and we often collaborate on projects. This means, she's another person who works as an artist, and we work together. The next word is fence. Fence refers to a structure that surrounds or protects an area of land. They built a wooden fence around their garden for privacy. This means, they put up a wooden barrier to keep their garden private. The children climbed the fence to get to the other side. This means the kids scaled the barrier to go beyond it. The house has a white picket fence around the front yard. This means, there's a small decorative wooden fence around the front area of the house. The next word is fierce. Fierce means very strong or violent, or showing strong emotions. The lion gave a fierce roar when it saw the intruder. This means, the lion made a loud and aggressive sound when it noticed someone. She's a fierce competitor in the tennis tournament. This means she's very determined and aggressive in her game. The storm became fierce as the night went on. This means, the storm grew stronger and more intense as time passed. The next word is fighting. Fighting refers to the act of engaging in a violent struggle or competition. The soldiers were fighting bravely in the war. This means, the soldiers were involved in combat with courage. There's a lot of fighting between the two teams in the championship. This means there's intense competition between the teams. Fighting broke out after the argument escalated. This means, physical violence occurred after the disagreement got worse. The next phrase is figure out. Figure out means to understand or solve something. I need to figure out how to use this new software. This means, I have to understand how to work with the software. She finally figured out the solution to the problem. This means she understood the answer to the issue after some thought. We can't figure out why the machine isn't working. This means, we haven't found out the reason for the machine's malfunction. The next phrase is fill somebody with anger. Fill somebody with anger means to make someone extremely angry. His rude comments filled her with anger. This means, his disrespectful remarks made her very angry. The unfair decision filled him with anger and frustration. This means the unjust choice made him feel very angry and upset. Her constant lies filled everyone with anger. This means, her repeated dishonesty made everyone really mad. The next word is finance. Finance refers to the management of money or the system of money used in a country, organization, or business. He studied finance to become an investment banker. This means, he studied how money is managed to work in banking. The company is looking for someone with strong finance skills. This means the company wants a person who is good at managing money. The government has a new plan to improve the national finance system. This means, the government has a new strategy to improve how money is handled in the country. The next word is financially. Financially means in terms of money or financial matters. She's financially independent and doesn't rely on anyone. This means, she manages her money without depending on others. The company is financially stable after several years of struggle. This means the company's money situation is strong now after facing difficulties. He's doing financially well in his new job. This means, he's earning a lot of money in his new position. The next phrase is find somebody guilty, not guilty. Find somebody guilty / not guilty means to decide in a court of law whether someone committed a crime or not. The jury found him guilty of stealing the car. This means, the group of people in the court decided he was guilty of stealing. The judge found her not guilty because there was not enough evidence. This means the judge decided she didn't commit the crime due to lack of proof. The court will find you guilty if you don't have a good defense. This means, the court may decide you are guilty if you can't prove your innocence. The next phrase is find yourself somewhere doing something. Find yourself somewhere doing something means to end up in a place or situation, often unexpectedly. I found myself in the middle of a heated argument at work. This means, I ended up unexpectedly in a difficult situation at work. She found herself on a beautiful beach during her vacation. This means she unexpectedly ended up on a lovely beach while traveling. He found himself studying late into the night for the exam. This means, he ended up studying more than he planned because of the exam. The next word is finally. Finely means in a way that is very detailed or precise. The artist painted the portrait finely, capturing every detail. This means, the artist painted very carefully with great attention to detail. The chef sliced the vegetables finely to prepare the dish. This means the chef cut the vegetables into very thin pieces. She finely tuned the piano for the concert. This means, she made small adjustments to the piano to make it sound perfect. The next word is fingernail. Fingernail refers to the hard covering on the tip of each finger. She had painted her fingernails a bright red color. This means, she applied nail polish to the nails on her fingers. He accidentally broke his fingernail while opening the box. This means he hurt the nail on his finger while trying to open something. Fingernails can grow long and need regular trimming. This means, nails can get very long and should be cut regularly. The next phrase is finish with somebody. Finish with somebody means to stop having a relationship or connection with someone. She decided to finish with him after years of dating. This means, she chose to break up with him after being together for a long time. He finished with his old job and started a new one. This means he ended his work at his previous job and began a new one. They decided to finish with the project due to lack of progress. This means, they decided to stop working on the project because it wasn't moving forward. The next phrase is fire brigade. Fire brigade refers to a team of firefighters who respond to fire emergencies. The fire brigade arrived at the scene within minutes of the alarm. This means, the firefighters came to the place of the fire quickly after the alarm went off. When there's a fire, it's essential to call the fire brigade immediately. This means if there's a fire, you should contact the firefighters as soon as possible. The fire brigade managed to put out the fire before it spread. This means, the firefighters successfully extinguished the fire before it got worse. The next word is firmly. Firmly means in a strong, determined, or unshakable way. She firmly believed in the importance of education. This means, she strongly believed that education was very important. He held the rope firmly, making sure it wouldn't slip. This means he gripped the rope tightly so it wouldn't fall. She spoke firmly to her team, urging them to work harder. This means, she gave strong, direct instructions to her team. The next phrase is first language. First language refers to the language a person learns from birth, often called their native language. Her first language is Spanish, but she is also fluent in English. This means, Spanish is the language she grew up speaking, but she knows English well too. Children learn their first language through listening to their parents. This means kids learn to speak their native language by hearing it from their family. His first language is Mandarin, and he's learning French now. This means, he speaks Mandarin as his native language and is currently studying French. The next phrase is first, second, third, etc. gear. First, second, third, etc. gear refers to the different speed settings in a vehicle's transmission system. The car was in first gear, so it was moving slowly at the start. This means, the car was in its lowest speed setting, so it was going slow. You need to shift to second gear when you start to go faster. This means you need to change to a higher speed setting when you speed up. The engine was running in third gear as they drove along the highway. This means, the car was moving at a faster speed on the highway in the third gear.